What's happening, troops? Welcome back to your weekly dose of nostalgic goodness. I am Liam, joined as always by bestest bud in all the world, Nick.
We are live. Please don't say fuck up, Bugger.
Oh, I'll never get used to that. We are broadcasting
I'm like the beginning of a call. That's what it is.
Yeah.
On Big Brother.
Big Brother's coming back, innit? Jesus.
No way. Fucking hell.
Yeah. We are broadcasting live on Twitch here at twitch.tv/RetroGakAttack. This is where you can catch the raw, uncut versions of RGA before it gets a lovely edit and it makes its way onto our YouTube channel. YouTube.com/@RetroGakAttack. You gotta have that at symbol because YouTube is stupid. RGA is also available in audio form on all major podcasting platforms. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, etc., etc. All available through our Buzzsprout page, rga.buzzsprout.com. Find the podcasting platform that suits you best. What are we talking about today, Nicholas?
The best 3D platformer of all time.
We're not talking about Super Mario 64 yet.
No.
Chill
sorry.
out.
No. See, just over yonder. You've been my house. Over yonder, we've got the hills, the Uckles, as they're known as. Over that way. Yep,
There's
that
just
way.
a door there for me.
Well, if you look past the door.
All right, door.
And look and use your supervision to look to Scotland.
Okay.
You'll see big giant hills, and I am on top of that hill, ready to die. That's the discussion we're gonna have.
Okay.
Tonight.
This could be a brutal discussion.
Me.
Banjo-Kazooie.
Yes.
What are your earliest impressions of... Well, what is... Tell the world, what is Banjo-Kazooie? Because 90% of the kids that might listen to this probably have no idea what a banjo or kazooie is.
Well, I mean, a banjo is a musical instrument. And kazooie is basically a pun name for a kazoo.
Kazoo.
Which is also a musical instrument, which I have one for Flynn, and he drives Steph around the wall with it.
Nice.
Yeah. So, essentially, do I have to do the story? If we do the story,
there's lots of musicaliness to the game, isn't there?
It's very musically influenced.
Yeah.
But essentially, Banjo and Kazooie are best friends. Kazooie is a bird in a backpack with no legs. She lives in the backpack.
I thought she did have legs.
No, she does have, but she does when you get the special move. But generally, she just lives in the backpack. I mean, if she used her legs like normal, she wouldn't have to live in a backpack, would she?
Maybe she's just a lazy cow or bird.
Maybe. I mean, she's full of sass, so yeah, probably. Yeah.
I do enjoy the sass. Kazooie's sass
so
is
good. Kazooie's so good. And then Banjo is a bear, and he carries Kazooie on his back in the backpack, and they are a wee friend duo, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going down the bestiality route or anything like that.
We'll avoid that. Family show.
Yeah. And they live in a land where there is a witch called Gruntilda who only speaks in rhymes, which is fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it's great.
And she one day asked her, it wasn't the mirror, was it? What is it? The cauldron. It's a cauldron. Yeah. You played it. You've played it. It's literally 2-3 weeks ago. So.
Yeah, that's the issue. It was 3 weeks ago as well. But
God. So the cauldron, she asks who's the most beautiful person in the land, and the cauldron tells her it's Banjo's sister, Tootie. And so Gruntilda has a plan to steal Tootie and steal her beauty in a machine.
Tootie's beauty?
Tootie's beauty. and basically Gruntilda kidnaps Tootie and has her in a machine ready to steal her beauty, and Banjo-Kazooie need to save her.
That's
in a
the
nutshell.
game. Yeah.
That is it's it's basically fucking Mario, isn't it? Saving the princess from the Calvert, but you're saving your sister from a witch.
It's just another it's basically just another Super Mario 64, isn't it?
Cliché. Yeah.
It's their version of it. Basically.
Yep.
Which is why I did enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
I did enjoy it, but because of the Mario 64-iness. But it ain't Super Mario 64.
No, I know it's better.
There's elements of it that I do like, though, that do kind of improve on 64. But I think just as a total package, I preferred 64, but I still really enjoyed playing this.
Well, let's go through the game. So your starter area. What did you think of the starter area?
The first sort of tutorial level.
Yeah, where your enemies are vegetables.
Yeah. I did like it. I did actually put down because I made notes as I was
So you
playing
actually
the
did this
game.
properly this time.
Kind of.
Yeah. Well, it's a big enough game that you would actually.
Yeah,
have to
I
do that.
did. I put a fair bit of notes down. It just got harder and harder to do it as Boy was growing up, and I was getting less chances to play it. And,
yeah.
But I did say that I enjoyed the tutorial level, and it's a good showcase of the basic moves that you get.
It teaches you everything you need.
It teaches you everything, and you collect puzzle pieces. It's one of the. Did you mention that it's like a super collecty game? You just collect everything.
It's not. It's not a. I didn't say it was a collector.
That's
it is
basically what the game is. You just collect everything, don't you?
Yeah.
And the main thing is jigsaw puzzles.
Yes. Yeah. So you do challenges and help people out throughout the levels, and you earn jigsaw pieces, which then you need to make a jigsaw out of the next level to be able to enter it. So that is the main crux of the story. You also the gameplay. You also then have the musical notes element, where it's one part of the currency. I'm not going to say currency. It's not really a currency, but you do need to collect.
You need to collect them to progress in the hub world, don't you? Basically.
Yeah. So you need to collect so many to be able to unlock moves from Bottles, the mole.
Yeah.
And then you also need them to open doors in the castle.
Did you actually need to collect them for the mole?
Yeah.
That never occurred to me.
Yeah. You have to collect so many notes for them all. I'm 90% sure.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. But and this is what I was going to come to. The game doesn't feel like, you know how some games, it's like you've got collectibles and you're just like, oh fuck. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like this Banjo-Kazooie, like you're collecting them, but you don't feel like it's a struggle that you've got to collect them. Do you know what I mean? You don't feel like you have to collect them, but they're about, and you can see them, and it's just there that you can see them. Right, I'll just collect it whilst I'm playing. You don't feel that they don't feel that there's the need.
Yeah, I think a lot,
like in most modern games.
Yeah, I think a lot of that's down to the level design as well. I think they're all very well made levels, and they obviously like as you progress through each one, they become more. What's the word? Like more vast and a bit more spacious, and they make use of verticaliness and all that. But yeah,
and also the moves that you have collected throughout the game up to that point, it makes you use pretty much everything in your arsenal to get about to collect the coins or all the puzzles.
You get a fair few moves in that to do. Like,
well, I think it's one every level, isn't it?
I think the first couple you might get two. And then it becomes one in each one.
Yeah.
But like, the amount of
stuff. The last Rusty Bucket Bay and TikTok Ward are the last one. Mad Monster Mansion. I think they're the last one. They're the ones that you don't get any moves out of. But at that point, you're at the end of you're at the end of the game more or less anyway. At that point.
And it's like you've got everything, so utilize what you've got to finish. Yeah. Not finish the level, but complete the level and
complete the game.
Yeah.
First level, go on then, hit me. Mumbo's Mountain.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It is like a bog standard, simple. It's like just a circle, isn't it? It's just a big circle with a mountain in the middle, and it's just make your way around the circle, do the little bits, and then you collect the puzzle pieces. You see the Ooga Booga guy, don't you? I don't know what's
the monkey.
Is he the monkey? And
the big gorilla.
The guy that transforms.
Oh, Mumbo Jumbo.
Yeah, Mumbo Jumbo.
Mumbo Jumbo is so fucking good.
I like him. And obviously you need to collect. He's got another thing that you have to collect, the skulls.
Yes, the skulls.
Which are a bit more difficult to find than
they are more hidden, yes. Yeah. But again, it's not, you don't feel that you struggle, if you know what I mean, to find them. They are about, and you will come across them.
I didn't find I ever had to search for them. It would just be, as you're doing the levels, you would just see a little nook or cranny, you'd stick your head in there, and there'd be an Ooga Booga thing, and you'd pick it up, and then. Yeah, I like the monkey, the sort of Donkey Kong sort of rip-off fella.
Yeah. I
liked him.
Throwing his oranges.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember.
See, when I first played I really struggled with that bit on what to do. I had no idea.
No, but that was the thing is, back then, it was, apart from Mario 64, there wasn't really anything else like this.
No,
game
but even in Mario 64, you didn't utilize an enemy to hit a switch.
No, yeah.
The switches on the floor, like I was like ground pounding them and doing everything I can, and I didn't realize that let him throw the orange on it.
Yeah.
Mario 64 didn't have that sort of like, I'm going to say, lateral thinking. Whereas Banjo had a lot of that sort of stuff throughout.
Yeah, I do actually think that a lot of the, just going more generalizing it, but I think the level designs in general in Banjo-Kazooie is better than Mario's. Only because I feel like a lot of Mario 64's levels, like when you think of like the lava one and a few, they just feel like they're just boxes. It's just a square, and like it is just a square, and that's it. You just roam around that square. Whereas Banjo's like the one with the shark in like the sewers. There was a lot of underwater stuff.
Clanker's Cavern. That's my favorite level. I love Clanker's Cavern.
I like that one. The swampy one was the same as well, where it doesn't feel like it's just a square. You know what I mean? It's just
they branch off into little bits. It's like a natural. It feels like a natural area, like a place as such.
Yeah, I did appreciate that about the game. The only thing is, it doesn't have the longevity for me. I've only played this for the first time a few weeks ago, properly. Like I'd probably jumped on it a few years ago, and not given it a proper go. But this is the first time I've given it a proper go. Whereas I've got fond memories of Mario 64 from when I was a kid, so like it'll never beat Mario 64 for that reason. But I think had I have played this back then, if I'd have heard of the game back then and I had it, it might have been a different story. It probably would have been a different story.
Yeah.
Because like I actually prefer the characters and stuff in this game. Because your Mario characters they're just the same in every game, aren't they? You get the same ones. You just don't know which ones you're gonna get.
Yeah.
And Mario 64 has actually got very limited characters. And like the actual Mario characters, you've got Mario, Bowser, Peach,
Luigi.
He's not in 64.
No, but I mean, if that's what I'm saying, that the list of characters is very little.
But and that's the thing. Whereas I just think that Banjo-Kazooie, Mumbo Jumbo guy, and all them, I just think they're all more interesting, dafty, better designed characters.
It's full of the rare, typical, British humour.
Yeah.
So that's what makes the game, I think, just a bit more. It's more likable than Mario. Mario is pretty much straight faced. Mario needs to get the stars to save Peach and defeat Bowser.
Yeah, it's
very much like A to B. Whereas Banjo, it's like you do this for someone, so it's like A to B, but then it's like you've got to do this to C to D to E, and it goes all the way through.
Yeah, one of the main differences that I did appreciate is that you can collect all the puzzle pieces in one run.
Yes.
Whereas Mario 64 is you get a star, restart, get a star, restart. I understand in 64.
Mario 64 they rearrange everything else depending on which one.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. So it does need to do it in 64 for the way they designed the game. So you'd pick a specific star and it would alter the level sometimes. Whereas with Banjo, it's the level is what it is.
Yeah.
Go and find the puzzle pieces, all 10 of them. Go nuts.
Yeah.
But I did miss. I love in Mario 64 that you get the little hint. Do this to get the star.
At the start, yeah.
So jumped in that level, you have a goal. Go and do that. So I do like that, but I also like Banjo's free roam. Just go and find them.
Yeah.
So like that's what I've put in my little note is like, Mario 64 gives you a hint, but this game doesn't. But it doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's just it's just a difference in both games, and they both work.
Yeah, and the fact that there's 10 on every level, I mean,
you know how many.
You know how many's there, but also you can't go too far into a level without coming across something that you need, that tells you need to do something like Breeze Easy Peak. Start the level and you're by the igloos. Of what's his name?
There's like kids in there wanting presents, isn't there?
Yeah, so you go in there and the kid's like, "Oh, we want our presents." So it's like literally at the start of the level, you go, "Oh, kids need their presents. I'll go around and look for presents."
Yeah.
And as you're doing that, you uncover the Christmas tree with the little twinkly lights, and you see the big snowman.
Even when you just go down the first hill and you see, I take it he's the dad or whatever, and he's lying on the ground
because he's at the jigsaw piece. Yeah.
So it's like as you're trudging through the level, even if you don't get the pieces straight away, you already know I've got to do something with this guy. I've got to do something over there, and it's just figuring out what you have to do. And I do like that about the game.
It's more of a puzzle aspect on some of the jiggies. Yeah, definitely is.
And that's the thing. You just don't get video games. It's just not. It's not the 3D platformer. Just isn't enough for kids these days. I don't get it. It's like they're used to a certain Fortnite or whatever. It has to have guns blazing and shooty bangs and first person and
God, yeah, I know
that and video. They've just moved on from something like Banjo-Kazooie is a game I would play with my son.
I mean, I've played it numerous times with Flynn. Flynn loves it
because it's a cartoony, daft, fun, just video game with it's colourful. With easy to listen to music and the fun, well designed characters.
Yep.
It's perfect for a child's mind.
Yeah.
Rather than some of the crap that you get these days. And they just
I
don't get why they don't make more games like this or try and, recapture
I just don't they just don't sell, do they, now, unfortunately. I mean, look at Ukulele is the indirect sequel, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I loved Ukulele. I thought they were brilliant games, and even the second one, because they did a second one was like a 2D platforming one.
All right.
And they're both really, really good games. But and they did sell well, but I mean, obviously not as well as
not to the
No, because you've got to think at that point when Banjo came out, is that we were all in that ride of that technological advancement. So we had Super Mario 64, the first 3D platformer, and then we, essentially we were just progressing, and we were all on that ride together. So when this came out, people were like, right, we're done with Mario 64. What can be the next thing that can be done? And Banjo was that game.
Yeah. What was the gap between 64 and Banjo? Don't imagine it was massive.
It wasn't that long. 2 years maybe. 98, 99.
64 was 97. I want to say.
Oh no, it was before. No, before it was 96. It was 96. 96 in Japan, definitely.
Banjo-Kazooie. I didn't realize Banjo's first. This is like an unofficial fact. Banjo's first appearance in a game was
Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, do you not know that? So was Conker from Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Really? So they were just like random characters that were put in.
They put them in, but they knew that they wanted to make other games. Yeah.
Do you know what? Conker's Bad Fur Day is another one I want to give. I've never played it,
You've never played it?
I've never played it, but I really want to.
It's right up your alley.
I know, I thought it would be. God. I mean, there's a human, there's an enormous poo enemy, come on.
The Great Mighty Poo. Yeah. It's the best bit of video game
I know,
ever.
He does opera singing the whole time, doesn't he?
It's so good. Like you will love literally all the references throughout that whole game.
What's that?
Movie references, just 80s references, everything.
Yeah, I know there's this Clockwork Orange and all kinds, isn't there, where he's got the glass of milk.
Yeah, so good.
So Banjo-Kazooie was 1998.
Nah, yeah.
I think Mario 64 was either 96 or 97. So it
came out with a 64, so it'd be 96.
96, then it would make sense. Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, I did really enjoy it, to be fair. Enjoyed the tutorial level.
Umbo's Mountain's really good, simple, nice, easy to get you into the basics. Treasure Trove Cove.
I really enjoy it. I think that ended up being my favorite one.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the design of it. It was like
just a wee little island in the sea.
Yeah, it
with
was
a wee lighthouse on the top of the cove.
You had the tutorial level, which was like a diddy circle with the mountain in the middle, and then you just Whereas this one was like a bit of an expanded circle.
I remember going into the land.
You had your little islands and stuff, and the bits that were raised up, and you had the cave bit in the middle. The shark, the shark was a pain in my butt. Jeez, couldn't get away from the shark. But like the first couple levels, I didn't really have many issues getting all the puzzles and the music notes quite easily. It still took a while, that second level. I don't remember the names of the levels.
I was gonna say, if you I mean, I don't get me wrong. Like when I played it, and it took me a while because obviously you're not used to the level, are you? Your first time you're playing around, you have to explore everything.
Yeah.
But obviously, like as you play it again and again, you remember where things are, so it's easier to run through the second, third, fourth time around.
Yeah.
Clanker's Cavern.
Yes. It was actually... So it's your favourite level?
It's one of the best underwater levels.
That's what I was going to say. It's an underwater level, more or less, that's actually enjoyable. I wasn't overly fond of the underwater swimming mechanics of the game. I think it's quite... In this day and age, it's quite clunky and slow.
No, but if you hold R, you can turn around in the water freely.
Oh, can you? Didn't know that.
Yeah, when you swim, you can do a sharp turn as well by pressing it. So I kind of knew you would probably bring that up. So,
but that's just name a game that's got good underwater mechanics. You know what I mean?
Unfortunately,
there's no game new list for List Me Baby one more time.
Shout underwater levels.
Yeah. Underwater levels that are actually good.
None. Well, one, yeah. Thanks, Gavin. But yeah, the swimming mechanic, it's once you know the whole sharp turn thing, it does make it a lot easier because I really struggled for a while until I realized that's what you could do. And especially on the bottom of Clanker's Cavern when you've got to go through the key and the padlock to release him. But it is also good that that they thought about the fact that you have to swim down so far underwater. That they put the little fish that swims around in a circle and blows the air bubbles. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's been plenty of times where I've tried to I've got 2 air bubbles left. I'm like, oh fuck, where is he? And is he on the other side of the key? And I've panicked to try and get to him and ended up dying. But I mean, it's just plan it out, don't you? If you get halfway down your air, go top up and just do it again. But that's the only one time you actually ever need to go down there. Unlock him, get the coins around the area, get the Jinjo, get the fuck out of there, and then you've got the whole rest of the level, which isn't that deep to do. So
he's actually frightening. The actual big shark.
He's so good.
Oh my god! But he's got fleshy bits all over him and stuff.
I know.
And then when you go inside him, and he's all like
organs and everything.
Tentacles. Is this a kid's game?
Oh god,
Jesus!
And I love the fact that when you go inside him, you've got different areas within him as well. So you've got his belly, and you've got the back bit with his tail that you can go around. Or you've got inside his mouth with his teeth that you have to knock the teeth in. So they just utilize that little because it's such a small level as well.
Yeah,
just literally just one little small area. And they utilized all the space they possibly could in there. It's really, really well designed level.
Yeah. What I did like, I don't think I made use of it because I didn't know much about it early on when I first played the game. There's so many transitional areas where like you can go into the shark guy. There's loads of little nooks and crannies for you to find, like a little cave or somewhere, and it transitions you to a new area.
Yeah.
And like I didn't realize just how many there actually were as you play the game. Obviously, the further in you get, there's more areas like that because the levels are bigger and stuff. And like the Egyptian level, it's that sandy one called.
You go into all the pyramids.
You go into the pyramids and stuff.
Gobi's Desert, yeah.
Yeah. That was probably the first one where I sort of not struggled, but it felt more of a challenge. That one.
Yeah, that was the same for me when my first playthrough. Yeah, I got to that and I got really stuck between that and Bubblegum Swamp.
Yeah.
Got stuck between the two, and it's the first time. I don't think there's been any other game that there has to have been at some point, but there's nothing that I can remember where you need to use a move from the other level. So you have to play both levels to be able to get all 10 jiggies, because you needed the running boots from Gobi's Desert to go back to Gobi's to go to the swamp to do the crocodile challenge.
Okay.
Because did you do the crocodile where you turn into a crocodile and you went in the crocodile's head? Mr. Bad or Mr. Big or something.
The one with the red crocodile.
The red one.
You chomp the little wormies and that. He tells you to get certain. I actually really enjoyed that. I think it went on a little bit too long, but
the third part,
it was like, we're
the
done
first
now.
Two,
Come
first
on,
two
we're done.
were okay. Yeah.
But I did like, the video game aspect of it. It was just, you've got 60 seconds.
Simple challenge.
Get the red wormies, off you go. And then it's it's like whack-a-mole, isn't it? And you got to go.
Yeah.
So I did actually enjoy those little sort of. It's like the little side quests, aren't they? It's a random part of the level. The little mini games. I actually really enjoyed a lot of them.
Yeah. But you had to go back as well to him and do it, but you needed to get the running shoes, because if you remembered in the back at the top of the crocodile, inside there's a wee little pair of running shoes, and when you do the second challenge with him, he challenges you again, and basically you have to use those running shoes to be able to do it. So the more you know. That's it. Yeah.
What else is there?
But you also needed the wellies as well to be able to go through the hot sand on some parts.
I actually really love the wellies. The wellies, the music for the wellies tickles me.
It's the banjo, down.
Yeah.
But that just sort of like little tune, like down, that whole sort of it's the same in every level, carries that same, and that's why the music is so good. Like every level's music kind of has sort of like a rendition of that just one tune, and it keeps it going throughout the whole game. And I think that's just a marvel of an idea by Grant Kirkwood and David Wise to just keep doing that throughout every level. I thought it's really smart.
It works, doesn't it?
It does, because there's no level that you play and you think, oh god, I don't like this song.
Yeah.
Every song is catchy. Every song, it will be in your head for hours afterwards after you've played it. It's always there now in your head. You know what I mean? So,
I think the swamp level was the first one where I couldn't get all the puzzles. There was one I never got. Oh, what did you have to do? There's something in the level where you go up to it and then it disappears and it goes to a different location. I can't remember what it was.
Crocodiles.
It might have been crocodiles. I don't know.
Yeah, you shoot your egg into the crocodile's mouth and they disappear, and another one turns up.
One goes. It ends up being like on top of like this really high platform.
Yeah.
Towards the back of the level, I think.
Yeah, because there's a jiggy there as well.
I couldn't fathom how to get up. So I never actually finished that one.
I'm sure there's bounce pads. You can use the bounce pads to get up.
I did, and it never... Yeah, there's one bounce pad.
And there's little houses, and you destroy the house.
Oh, I didn't destroy nothing.
Yeah, so if you ground pound the house, it destroys the house, and then gives you another pad or a switch, and you keep going all the way up to the top.
I didn't ground... Of all things for me not to do was a ground pound.
The most basic of moves in a 3D platformer game is a ground pound.
Yeah.
Because you do that in the first level at Mumbo's Mountain as well. There's 5 houses round the ring.
Oh, yeah,
right next to Mumbo's house, and you ground pound them to destroy them.
I'm pretty sure some fella tells you to do it, though, so I did it. Like, if someone's not
there is
telling
a
me
guy,
to
there
do it,
is a
I
guy
won't do it.
telling you.
I'll just be like, just waltzing there, like, oh, I got nothing to do
Well,
now.
I can't destroy this guy's house. Someone might be living
I'm
in
just
it.
too nice a bloke, can't I?
I
I
can't
don't
destroy
want.
his Airbnb. He gets
I,
nice rates here for a swamp.
I don't want to vandalize his property. I don't play Grand Theft Autos. But like that, I think that was the first level. Like, not that I didn't enjoy it, but it's probably the one I enjoyed least. Was that level?
It's
It was the whole
you can't go in the swamp
the environmental hazardiness of it.
because
It becomes a bit
you get
annoying.
bit by the piranhas.
Yeah.
I the first time around, I remember not necessarily not liking it, but like I struggled with it more because I did find it a bit more annoying.
And that's their way of introducing the boots, isn't it? That's where you get the boots.
Yes, that's why you need the welly boots to be able to traverse around. Yeah,
but it's just annoying that the majority of the level is an environmental hazard, and it's just
yeah. The whole ground level's swamp. Yeah.
And then the snowy one. I really enjoyed the snowy one.
Freeze Easy Peak.
Yeah,
Freeze Easy Peak's so good.
I feel like that was one of the easiest to get all the pieces on.
Yeah.
But like
harder for the notes.
Yeah, because they're scattered everywhere, and it's quite a vertical.
The snowman and everything.
Yeah, it's quite a vertical level, isn't it? Where they really they made you use Kazooie's fly ability in it.
And that's my only one slight criticism is the flying. The flying isn't the most intuitive.
I didn't mind the flying. I thought the flying was fine.
It's better than Mario 64.
Yeah,
by
Mario 64
like a fucking leap, and a jump. Way better.
Mario 64 is
but I know. But I always find myself like using like more red feathers than I need to.
Okay.
Because to overcompensate, because you know what I mean. I'm just like, because I panic that I'm not at the right point, so I just spam the feathers to go higher and higher, and then I realize I'm fucking too high up.
Yeah, because that level also introduces the darting missile thing that
the dive bomb.
Yeah, and that's just a gamble, isn't it? If you think you've got your sights set on it,
if there was a crosshair, if as you press the button, if there was a wee little crosshair, that just
just like
where
a
you
little
wanna
dot
go,
or something would make all the difference. But
then you also need to take that move back into the Gobi Desert as well, because there's the Sphinxes that have got the targets on as well.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So you need to go back to do that as well.
Yeah. I think that desert level was the one where I probably struggled most with the flying, because there were a few fly bits to do in that level.
And you've got to go through. There's the bloody way you can expand your health by collecting empty honeycombs, and there's one of them that's in a cactus within the circle.
There is. Yeah, I got that one.
So fucking hard.
I think I lucked out with that one. I hit the cactus once, tried again, and I got it. So I think I did just sort of get away with it.
I still struggle to get that. I still struggle.
Oh yeah, that was. But it's like when you see it,
such a small hole.
Yeah, but when you see it, you got to go for it, don't you?
Oh god, yeah, you have to. Yeah,
challenge accepted.
It's the whole point of the game, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, Gobi. We haven't really spoke much about Gobi Desert, but Gobi Desert's amazing. Like, I think Gobi is like one of those characters that's like so good.
Yeah.
It's just a camel that's just like a miserable bastard.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's like that noise. And I love the fact that you have to ground pound him so he spits his water out of his hump to think plant the bloody do the plant.
Yeah,
the tree grow.
Yeah, that tree he's another miserable one at the start of the level, isn't he?
Yeah. But like even the pyramid setting, like I mean, there's like 4 or 5. There's like a sphinx and a couple of pyramids, and it's a small level, but like because you go into all the different areas, there's like loads of different areas to go into. Which they're all different and they're all really good. But even did you do the running boots where you've got to catch that? You got to chase that hand, the hand that's got the jiggy.
Yeah.
And if you run to it, he hides away and he's like, no.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
So childish. But that's a really good little level as well. Mad Monster Mansion.
Yeah, the Monster.
What do you think of that?
I enjoyed.
I
enjoyed it.
Such a good level.
Just trying to picture it now. You've got the house in the middle, haven't you?
Mm-hmm. And then you can go into the house through the different windows.
Yeah, that's it. I think I don't think.
I always felt bad for smashing the windows, though.
Did you?
It was the same as you. You didn't ground and pound a fucking house,
yeah,
did you?
that's true,
I'm like, oh my god, I'll get in trouble for smashing this window.
They're gonna send me the bill.
The Banjo-Kazooie roses are knocking on my door. Vandalism.
Yeah, I
Well,
enjoyed
this-
that one. It's got like a big maze as well, hasn't it?
The garden maze, yeah, where you've got the two ghosts that go through because they can go through the walls.
That's it. Was there any way to get?
And they chase you.
Is there any way to kill the ghosts?
Your shield, your golden power shield.
Oh, the
Just do that. Just do that just before they hit you, and
and it takes them out.
don't.
That was
you only
something
use one.
I never really utilized that invincibility.
I never really used it apart from 2 points in the game, which is the bit with the blades inside Clanker's Cavern.
That's it. Yeah.
And in TikTok Wood, on the way to TikTok Wood, where you go through the tree and you've got the vine swinging. Only 2 times I ever really use it.
Yeah.
But it's handy to have.
It's handy to have. It's just I don't think
10 seconds of invincibility.
Yeah, I never really utilized it probably as much as I should have.
But yeah, we have to talk about Mumbo Jumbo on that level though, because getting turned into a pumpkin.
Yeah, that's it. Isn't it?
It's so good, isn't it? It's so good. And you sit in the toilet, and the toilet flushes you down.
Yeah.
So fucking good.
It's just.
And you end up in the shitter. And it's just fucking inside the toilet. And it's all the vines whipping about. You're just like a little pumpkin. It makes that noise, doesn't it? Every time you make a move. And you have to fucking get there's like literally a jiggy in the corner, and that's all that point is.
That's all it
is for you to get flushed down the fucking toilet. That's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was very, going back to 64 again, very reminiscent of the Boo level, and that is where you got your big haunted. It's way better than Boo's Haunted Mansion.
Oh god, yes.
When you actually go back to.
Fair enough, you can't explore the whole mansion in one go. You have to go through like specific doors for specific areas.
Yeah.
I don't really think that really detracts from the level at all.
No, it's like I was saying with Mario 64's boxed levels. I think Boo's Haunted Mansion one is another one where you open the level, you're literally in a big square.
Well, it's a big giant circle, a house in the middle, and a lift in the corner.
Yeah. And it does, like, if you go back to it, it is quite bare. Like, I know it's early days 3D Nintendo 64, but it is actually quite bare when you actually play it. Whereas I didn't feel like much of Banjo-Kazooie's levels were bare. There's always
something. Yeah, everything's meticulously placed somewhere.
Very well designed levels, and it seems like it's all filled out and. And that I did enjoy that level. To be fair, I did enjoy that.
And Rusty Bucky Bay. Yeah, that's so good. I love the walk to that point as well. When you get to the level where you go into the way to the level, it's that thin platform, and the room with the lava underneath you, and you see the flames coming up underneath you. I think it's pretty cool. When you have to do the puzzle pieces, and then the actual level itself is like a graveyard on the way to the actual main part of the level. Yeah. That's so good as well.
Yeah, I love the design of Rusty Bucket Bay. I love the size, the scale of it, and just the look of it all.
Just a wee boat in a harbour. That's all it is.
Yeah,
but it's unfortunately that is a square blocky level. That's probably the only one though. But there's so much going on.
But that's just by design anyway, because of what the level is as well, isn't it? But yeah, this is where my brain goes a bit foggy now, because
for me, this is where the difficulty of the game goes up. Yeah. It goes through the roof. I think this is the hardest level in the whole game. The fact that the water in the level is full of pollution and oil, that
of course,
of course, that you lose your air goes twice as quick, and it makes for swimming in that bit like it's really, really hard.
Yeah,
you've got to really know where you go, and you've got to sort of like plan where you go, and you've got to commit to it to get to where you want to go. And when you're inside the ship as well, there's certain parts inside the ship that are really hard as well, like the engine room. you have to turn the speed of the fans down to be able to get past them, because if you don't, it's impossible to get the jiggies in that part of the engine room. It is really hard. And there's not a lot of, like, every point in the every level in the game up to that point kind of doesn't give you hints and tips, but it kind of points you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Rusty Bucky Bay is just like, second to last level, boys, on you go.
Yeah, crack on.
That's it. Do you know what I mean? That's on you go. You can tell when there's a fake window. You can tell when there's a fake roof light or whatever. So you can find out, on when the start level and you turn left and you've got the roof that you can run over and you can smash down the windows on that sort of thing. You've already done all this sort of stuff up to that point in the game, so you know what to look out for. So it's just a case of just on you go. That's it. Boof. So, but it is hard. I think it's the hardest one.
Yeah. Which one came after this one?
TikTok Wood.
And that's the final one, isn't it?
That's the final one.
The final proper level.
Yeah, I think TikTok Wood is amazing. Possibly one of my favorite levels in a game.
Yeah, and after we talked,
such a good colored.
After we talked about the soundtracks and that, and you mentioned this level in particular because of the 4 seasons and all the season changes in it. Yeah, it is smart. It is really. Smart.
It is. Like when I played it, and it totally blew my mind that someone was able to think, of basically a giant tree, and it's a circular level, but there's so much happening around it, especially when you factor in you've got the 4 different seasons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's the same level layout, but it's 4 different levels because there's things that happen in each season that, you know what I mean? It's so smart.
That, if for a game back in 1998, still sort of experimenting with 3D space and stuff like that. That's a lot of crap.
Well,
you know what I mean?
It's literally like what will gamers play the same level 4 times?
Yeah, exactly.
Essentially, and it's like
just with a bit of a different paintwork.
Yeah, but it's like, but you know what? What we'll do is we'll make an incentive. In spring, we'll get the caterpillars that they have to feed the eagle. And then that's the start of it, because then you come back in summer and you feed him more because the eagle's grown, and seeds that you plant in spring grow in summer, and you've got to use goby from the desert to water the plant in the fucking TikTok wood to make that plant grow. Like, it's just connecting like all these little things together, and it's so smart. It really is smart.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no.
And the bloody squirrel at the top as well, where you see him. He's like hyper in spring, and he's like dying of the summer heat. And in winter he's finding his nuts for thing, and then in winter he's asleep. It's like it's a simple thing. The beaver. You see the beaver swimming in spring, and in summer the water's dried out, so you kind of get to him. And then the winter, the ice is frozen, but there's like one circular hole, and you have to go see him in the winter and swim through the frozen water, which takes twice your air off again, to go and visit him just for a jiggy. But again, it's you know what I mean? It's one small thing that they're able to link 4 times. It's
a good way of them utilizing all the all your moves and that it is the final level, isn't it? You have to.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, you have to traverse the tree in spring because the leaves around the tree haven't sprouted; they're all buds. So you have to use Kazooie's like running legs to get around and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then in summer, the leaves are out, so you can use your double jump or your backflip to get up the tree quicker. And in autumn, the leaves are dying, so they're red, so they're not as strong. And then in winter, they're all gone again. But in winter, you've got the snow, and the snow creates like a path up to the tree. It uses all different things that you've already learned. It's really good. Like I love that level. Really love that level.
And as a final level goes, it didn't get much wrong, does it? To be fair,
no. Even Mumbo. I mean, we'll go through the Mumbo Jumbo stuff and the other stuff in a minute. But like being a bee,
Bumblebee
was so good. Like so good. It was when he wears the little blue shorts around his butt.
That's
so good.
That's why like mentioning him early on. That's why I love that character. It's like
so good, and he's so good.
they could have gone a completely different direction of like he turned you into something that's like, I don't want to say like perfectly useful for the situation, but like he turned you into something normally daft, even though it works in the situation. But it's just like, be a bumblebee, be a crocodile.
Well, that's it. I mean, you've got the first one's an ant, well, a termite.
Ant, yeah.
Termite. So you can go up the termite, up inside the termite, the thing to get to the top.
Yeah.
But I love it, the fact that, you know, when you're playing the level as Banjo, you've got your termites about and they attack you because they think you're attacking the home. But then when you're the termite, they're all like, hey, look at you. Hey, cool backpack.
Yeah,
they're talking to you. It's so good. Because then you've got the termite, and you've got nothing treasure trove, nothing Clanker's Cavern, the Swampy the crocodile, which I think the crocodile's it's not necessarily the worst, but it's probably the worst one. I would say.
Yeah, it's just, he just kind of snaps, doesn't he? That's it. He's a bit nippy and he snaps.
It. All it is he's small and you can go around in the swamp without being hurt.
Yeah.
And then you've got the wee puzzle bit with Mr. Big. Nothing. The desert, the walrus. Love the walrus. He's so good.
So you can have the race, isn't it?
The race with Boggy on the thing, which is really good. I love the fact that you have to do that race twice as well, though. One is the walrus and one is
the speed shoes, isn't it?
Speed shoes, yeah. I also love in the walrus where you go into the walrus cave and there's got that big walrus is like, hey, I've not seen you before.
That's it, yeah.
It's so good. Yeah. And then the pumpkin's amazing. Pumpkin's so good. And then the bumblebee. So it's actually only like, is that 6? That's 6 points that you've got to collect for Mumbo Jumbo. It's only 6 things you need to get from him, but they're all really good in their own right, and they're all really fun to be those sort of like characters.
They're really entertaining moments in the game, aren't they?
Yeah. And I love the bee when you go in the wasp and the buzzers in hive, and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing in here?" It wasn't like giving you like a hard time. I always think of them having like a New York accent or something. Yeah. I'm walking here.
Yeah. I'm walking here. I'm walking here. And then you after you've done this, it's basically the end game, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean I was to say you've also got the Jiggies actually in the castle as well.
That's it, in the hub world.
Yeah, which is also a smart idea because it actually makes you explore the castle as well.
Yeah.
You know, you hit a switch and you see something happening in the castle, and like, at that point you're like, oh God, when I leave, I know I have to go to that part of the castle to get that Jiggy.
Yeah.
Which again, I mean, you had stars in Mario 64 in the castle with toads or those like hidden ones out there about.
But they didn't like totally utilize the castle as its own sort of level in a way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I found it at times just a little like I'd lose my bearings quite easily in Banjo-Kazooie because it's so much bigger. It feels so much bigger the hub than 64's castle. Yeah. But obviously it needed to be a bit bigger because they wanted you to explore.
It's essentially another level. What it is.
And I did like in levels where you'd find the Gruntilda pad.
The Grunty switches,
and then you would see something would happen in the hub world and you have to figure out how to get that puzzle. So I did like that. To be fair.
Yeah. And what else? The Cheetos. Did you ever find Cheeto? The book. Obviously not.
I don't think so.
so in the castle, basically, you would there's areas within the castle that you would find a book called Cheeto. Yeah. So the first one is this the Bubblegum Swamp. Mm-hmm. When you go to the level, the entrance to Bubblegum Swamp, there's actually a hole in the wall behind.
I saw the hole in the wall. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you went in as Kazooie, it takes you into an area that you would need to smash ice and stuff.
Yeah, I smashed an ice thing. I don't remember what I did after that.
Then you would need to go back as the crocodile through that area, and there's a little hole in the wall, and it would take you to Cheeto. And what he would do is he would give you a code that you had to input into, you remember when you messaged me saying like, I need to find the entrance to the little cat to drain the water to the castle. On the floor, you spell out Banjo-Kazooie.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, well in there, he gives you a code to type.
Oh, okay.
So you can put in cheat codes
Right.
So you can double the amount of feathers, red feathers, gold feathers,
that's cool.
blue eggs, and there's 3 of them around it actually in the actual game.
Yeah.
So that's another little hidden thing in the whole
That's quite
hub
cool,
areas
yeah.
as such. Yeah,
It's quite cool that.
I'm surprised you didn't find any. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, that's the thing. When I remember breaking that like block of ice or glacier, whatever it was.
Because it's the bloody jigsaw puzzle piece that opens up the bloody Gobi's Desert, isn't it? It's up the little hill right next to it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I quite like that though, that they give you the cheat in the game. Like,
well, the thing is, you can't put that cheat in until you find him.
Oh, so you couldn't
you
if you knew it, you couldn't just go and do it. You still have
yeah,
to find him. Okay.
Yeah, but also, you ready for this? At the start, in your house at the beginning of the game, you can go back. You okay? My wife's here.
Wife.
You sure? Yeah.
I'm trying to think now. House.
Perusing. So your house at the beginning of the level.
Oh
so
yeah.
Very start of the game.
Yeah.
You can actually go back to the house and you can look up at the wall, and there's a wee jigsaw piece on the wall. And and so you can basically it's a moving jigsaw piece. It shows you an area in the game, and you have to put the jigsaw pieces back in, and everyone that you do gives you another code to put into the castle to unlock other things in the game.
Bloody hell!
Because did you see the ice key in the walrus
area? I couldn't figure out how to get it.
Yeah, so that's one of these codes is to unlock, is to basically take the wall off.
Okay.
And you can go and get the ice key. So the aim, the whole aim of this was basically there were secret eggs around the whole game in certain levels, and you would do these jigsaws at the start in your house at the beginning of the game, and you would get these codes, put them in the little castle, and they would unlock them in the game. So there's one in Mad Monster's Mansion where in the basement with the barrels, and you'd smash the barrels. One of them had an egg. Treasure Trove Cove had one of these eggs as well. A little island would come out of the water, and you would go inside to get and do a platform bit to get an egg. And the whole point of this was basically to unlock things in Banjo-Tooie.
Yeah, because obviously we'll get to the credits and that later on.
Yeah.
But there's a bit in the credits where Mumbo Jumbo's showing you secrets or something.
Yes.
I couldn't quite fathom it out, but
well, that is what these secrets are.
So is he basically telling you go back to this bit and do this, and you'll find something?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but the only way to unlock it is to go back to your house and do these jigsaw pieces.
Right. Okay.
That's the only way to unlock them. And the idea was that you collect these in Banjo-Kazooie, and what you would do is basically swap the cartridge from 1 to 2.
Yeah.
And there's something like a 3-second memory or something there's 3 seconds on your memory on the N64 that basically you would, if you put it within 3 seconds, the memory would still store the fact that you have collected these items in Banjo-Kazooie and would lock stuff in Banjo-Tooie. It's so convoluted. But it's amazing. It's amazing that they were so forward thinking that they were going to get a second game.
Yeah.
They put all this hidden stuff in.
Fair dues to them.
But obviously it didn't work. So in Banjo-Tooie, you could collect all this sort of stuff, and it wouldn't do anything in Banjo-Tooie, unfortunately.
Okay.
The only way they were able to utilize it is when it's on the Xbox.
All right. Okay.
That's the only way that they can get it to it, because there's an actual save file saved on the hard drive of the Xbox. So if you were to get them and play Banjo-Tooie, it would recognize that you've got these, and then would unlock certain stuff in Banjo-Tooie for you. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So
anyway, TikTok Wood, you finished it.
Yeah.
We'll go to the boss. Is this not the best boss battle ever?
It's pretty impressive. Yeah.
It's so good, isn't it? I when I got to it, I was just like, what in the hell? A quiz show?
Yeah.
What?
It's like
so good.
Yeah, it's like Mario Party, isn't it? It's the first thing that came to my mind is it felt like it's like Mario Party but in Banjo-Kazooie.
I think it was before Mario Party, wasn't it?
Was it?
I don't know.
I'd be surprised because, in the nicest way possible, Mario Party looks a bit rough. The first one.
Oh, I know.
So I'd imagine maybe it was just after it. 'Cause didn't they do about 2 or 3 Mario parties on the 64?
Yeah, there was 3.
So the first one must have been fairly early.
Mario Party.
I'm going to say 97 because I'm a
1999.
99?
Yeah, 98 in Japan, 99 in America and Europe.
Churned those suckers out fast.
So I mean, they're in the same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but it is.
But I mean, it's There's no boss game that's up until that point or after that your first stage of a boss is a quiz show. That's so smart.
And obviously, in the hub world, you find Gruntilda's sister.
Grunty's sister.
And she's hiding in little, and she gives you little hints.
She tells you things about Grunty.
Yeah, each one you find has 3 facts.
Yeah, I'd met her the first time, and she told me these things, and I was like, that means nothing to me. And so I just every time I saw her,
it's all dead random, isn't it?
Yeah,
Gruntilda's favorite smell is stinky trousers or something like that, isn't it?
Stinky Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, it's random stuff like that.
So I was like, what the fuck's that? And every time I saw her, I just ignored it. I didn't, you know what I mean? And then I got to that point, and I was like, I wish I'd paid attention. Yeah.
I had a funny feeling when I was finding each one, and they were all just giving you these pretty obvious answers to questions, because when the actual answer comes up, the writing shakes, doesn't it? Like, this is the answer that you need to remember. So, like, as I was finding more and more of her,
Alexa, stop.
As I was finding more and more of her, it was like, oh yeah, they're gonna quiz me at some point. They quiz me about something. But what I love about it is that they ask you questions and show you pictures. Yeah,
every space is different. Yeah,
everything you've done to that point of the game, do you remember it? And
they'll show you a part of a level. There's none, and there's been none since.
Yeah,
I think that's such a good way of like a boss battle.
Yeah,
so smart. It really is.
I love that it's like it's almost like a test.
64 didn't do it.
It didn't in all fairness. But it's like a test at school, isn't it? Have you been paying attention to the video game you've just been playing?
But it's actually fun, and you want to do it.
Yeah, because it's just.
I died there countless times. Yeah. Countless times on my first playthrough. Yeah. But there's a certain path you can take, which is like it's less of the questions, like hard stuff to do, and it's more easy. Like, do you recognize this, or it's the mini games, and you can get certain spaces that you can pass. You can collect like something that allows you to pass certain squares, and there's one specific route that's a lot easier than the rest. But see, like when I started playing it with Flynn, and like I'd done it so many times, it's like I'm going to take the hardest route because I'm a dickhead. I'm a dickhead dad. I'm going to make him do the hardest route.
Oh my god, I loved
it. God, it made a challenge. It's so good.
Are the questions and things, are they randomized?
Yes,
they are randomized. Okay.
Yeah, so it's not the same question on every space. No, they're all randomized.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, no, it was. Although I was sort of expecting something out of the blue, like out of the ordinary, I wasn't quite expecting big board game quiz show sort of thing. Until ultimately you have like the final battle, don't you? Ultimately.
Well, yeah, you win the quiz show, and Grunty legs it, and you save Tootie, and end credits.
Yeah,
and
the fake credits are funny.
They're so good though. They are good, aren't they? Yeah,
it's so random but funny.
Yeah, and then you're all chilling at the barbecue, and Tootie's like, "The fuck you playing at? She's still up there. Go fucking sort her out." And you're like, "Oh shit, yeah, okay, we better go." And so you go back in the castle, work your way back up to the top. And I do like the fact that there's cauldrons hidden around the castle.
Yeah,
and you can use them as teleporters to fast travel around. That was really smart. And you get back in, and you go through the bloody quiz path again, and you go up the stairs, and you get to the last bit. And I'm assuming, did you collect all the notes?
I'd collected enough to get
there.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Because at the very end, there's
stuff, don't you?
yeah, you've got boosters in the 4 rooms. Yeah, and there's also one puzzle left that's got four jiggies.
Pieces, yeah.
You need everyone in the game basically to get to that point to be able to get those last 4.
Yeah.
And I can't actually remember what they do. They do a boost. They boost. I think they boost your life. They give you double life. I think.
I think it doubles your life. It
doubles
it gives
doubles
you like
your
a
life.
red health bar, doesn't it?
Yeah,
like, it redifies them.
Yeah. And so so that is your reward for basically collecting everything in the game. It's essentially making your battle with Gruntella at the end easier.
Fairer fight.
Fairer. Yeah, it's not easier. It's fairer.
Yeah.
Because my God, she is actually
She's a bit of a weapon, isn't she?
She is really fucking hard. Really hard.
But it's final boss, isn't it? It's final boss of a game.
You know, it's one of those. It's really hard, but it's not hard to the point that you're like, oh fuck, I'm never gonna do it. It's a hard boss that you get to a point, you die, and you're like, right, I know what to do on this section. So you do that section a bit better, and then you get to the next section, and then you struggle, you figure out what's happening, and then you die.
Yeah.
And that's the way it keeps the whole thing keeps going.
It's probably one of the few areas of the game as well where I actually utilize the gold feathers for protection.
Yes, but you have to. I think it's there's a couple of death rays that she does the whole like, and then fires them, and it follows you around.
Yeah.
And there's no way of getting it. You have to use it to destroy it. And yes, at this point, this utilizes pretty much all the
tricks of the trade,
all the moves in the you've got to stand on the castle edge and shoot her with the eggs while she moves around. Yeah. That bit in itself is hard. When she's flying around the middle, you're jumping and you're trying to peck her to get at her. You're using everything in pretty much the arsenal. You end up flying up in the sky to chase her in the sky, to bombard her in the sky. Yeah. It's hard. It's a hard battle, but like I say, it's fair as well. And then at the very end, did you collect all the Jinjos? See, I don't know if this is actually collect all the Jinjos to unlock this last bit. I don't know if you did or not. Did you actually collect all the Jinjos?
I've seen that it's like
the Ginginator.
The Ginginator. That's it. Yeah. Where it's sort of the game. The game becomes like what they called anime manga. That's all. In my head, it was like when he's like flying and pelting her off the edge and stuff. It's like one of those Japanese manga things, and it's just like
you've got to shoot the statue in the middle to unlock him.
Yeah.
And he just batters the shit out of it to get rid of her force field. And then he delivers the killer blow, and then that's her falling down from the top of the castle into the ground, and a big boulder lands on top of her.
Yeah, she didn't die though, because she goes afterwards.
Yeah.
Because no one
actually
dies.
A bony arm comes through at one point. Yeah. So I mean, that is Banjo-Kazooie in a nutshell. It's.
There is a lot to that game. Even like on the surface, it doesn't seem like it's a massive game. Like if you look, how many levels are there? 8.
It's 8 or 9, I think.
And then,
8 levels, 9 at the castle.
Yeah, so that's not a ton, is it? That's a handful of levels.
Yeah.
But there's so much to do in each level.
So there's so much stuff in there.
Got the hub world, and then the whole
game's packed.
Just the entire final boss sequence of the quiz show up until that end.
That's a level in itself, isn't it? Really,
it's massive. It's actually really it's a hefty game. To be fair,
considering it came out 2 years after Mario 64, I've always said Rare is probably my favorite publisher, game maker, and through that whole Nintendo 64 run, they hit it every time out the park during home run after home run after home run, and it's like whatever Nintendo they were just like, here's ours, but even better. And they all, do you know what I mean? Like Mario Kart came out and they were like, well, we've got Diddy Kong Racing, which is just an equally as good racing game as Mario Kart.
Never actually played it, but
It is really good, but it's also got planes and hovercrafts, and there's a story mode with the bosses and all that sort of stuff. So they one upped on Mario Kart. Fair enough, it's not as popular as Mario Kart, but like they took the Mario Kart formula and was just like, we're gonna make something better.
Yeah, just
I mean, we're gonna give it some more, and that's what they always did with every sort of game on the N64 thing. They just out the park every time.
Just saying as well. List me baby one more time. Best video game developers.
Make a note of that then. Make a note of that then. That's the thing. But then it's yeah. I mean, I would put them up there, but like they've just it's not their fault. But like the main team that worked on during the N64 era, most of them left after GoldenEye. And so it's an absolute fall from grace for them. I mean, they still hit it out of the park with the stuff that they've put out, since, but it's one of them ones that's like they had lightning in the bottle numerous times.
I think you get that with a lot of developers anyway. They'll have just like a certain team where every sort of game they release in that period, they hit it out of the park each time, and then they maybe go. And then
inevitably someone leaves, and it's one linchpin out of a machine, and the machine stops working. I
think the dons of milking a cow too much are Ubisoft with Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, Assassin's Cream. Yeah, not sponsored yet.
They've still not hit me up.
No, bastards.
I could make him a shit ton of money.
Exactly. Sell that Assassin's Cream.
From Udder Juice. Like,
Udder Juice.
But yeah, I know.
Right, I think
we've sidetracked, but
yeah, we need to get ranking. This is a long one. Right.
Sorry.
It is one of your favorite games, so it's
oh gosh, yeah.
So the super leaderboard of awesome games requires a score for Banjo-Kazooie. What are you giving it, Nicholas?
I mean, there's no way that I can give it any less. It's not dead on a million, but it's 950,000.
Oh, that's a
to me, this is the perfect 3D platforming game. It's every level is unique. Every level has something to do with it. We've gone through this, but anyway, it's just, to me, when I got this game and I played this, and I have played it dozens and dozens of times since. I mean, I've played it 4 times with Flynn, and he turns 6 next week. We've done the game 4 times, and it's just every time you play this game, it still amazes me. It's still a fun game. The soundtrack's amazing. The controls are tight. It's just, yeah. There's certain games, especially from that N64, PlayStation 1 era, that haven't aged well.
Yeah.
But Banjo has aged well. It's probably one of the few games that have.
Yeah.
That cartoony style graphics looks amazing.
I was weirdly thinking of that the other day. Like, what was that point where games you can go back to any Mega Drive game, SNES game. They're timeless. I think you're talking 90% of all those games are timeless because of the style of them and the way it was. Pixel graphics are lovely, aren't they? And there's a reason they sort of come back into fashion with the whole retro and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, whoa, PS1 and 64 games, that early 3D. Ooh, it looks like butt.
Rough as bricks.
Some of it is terrible. But then you get some of it which is like, for some reason, it still holds up.
Yeah.
But I do think a lot of it is down to, like,
it's the aesthetic of what they're going for.
Like, I know this is even earlier again, but Doom, I think Doom still holds up today, but all releases of Doom now are remasters. They sort of upscaled. They sort of tweak it all to suit modern day, like they did with GoldenEye.
Yeah.
It suits modern day gaming.
Yeah.
But like if you go like on the Game Bloke and go on the PS1 version of Doom or the SNES version of Doom, whoa, that's tragic. But like the PC version's good.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know why I was thinking of it, but just like something came into my head, and I was like, what was that period where games just don't age well anymore?
It's 64 through to probably early PS2.
Yeah, I do think a lot of PS2 is still fine, but yeah, it is
the early stuff.
The early stuff is rough.
Like if you look at Grand Theft Auto 3.
Yeah, it was that. It was the head honcho.
Janky.
The head honcho of PlayStation, or someone has stepped down now.
Yeah, the Jim Ryan, something like that.
Yeah.
Ryan or something.
Which they're making a big deal about. Never heard the guy, but like he's a big deal.
Well, I mean, games will be games little section quite here, but like Sony, I mean, Microsoft had a fucking wanker of a week last week. Sony have had just as bad a week this week. Bloody PlayStation 5's getting hacked.
Yeah.
Him stepping down. There's two other things that have happened this week for Sony. Do you know what I mean? It's not been a good week.
No, and that was the thing. Apparently, this fella, like, he's a bit of a knobhead as well. Like, he was the one that put a stop to backwards compatibility being a thing with Sony, with PlayStation. And he said basically, the old games are shit. They don't look good anymore. So why would we want to encourage you to replay them? So I think I must have seen that on Twitter and gone.
That's a fair point.
It is, yeah. A lot of them look like, but
yeah. But if you've spent money on a game and a machine, and like say the Switch 2's coming out, the developer kids for the Switch 2 have been noted that they're going out and about, and people have been using them, and they're saying they're backward compatible. That's going to be great because I've spent thousands of pounds on games for the Switch.
Yeah.
You know, so it'll be amazing for me to be able to play my back catalogue.
Yeah, on the new console.
On the new system.
To me,
it's not going to affect the sales of the new system in any way. It's just, for me personally, that's going to benefit me. It's not going to benefit Nintendo. Nintendo don't care because their new games for that system are going to play for that system.
Yeah. You can understand from a business sense, they don't want people... They don't want people getting their new console and playing the old games. They don't want people potentially getting the new console because they want to keep playing their old games.
But that's inherent anyway, because the first 2 years of a console's life, you're going to have that point where you're going to have to kinder to both the old console and the new console anyway. So why not just be like, do you know what? Here's the new console. You have a choice of buying the PS5 version, which is going to be 4K better resolution, or you can buy the PS4 version, which is 1080. The choice is yours. You give the consumer the choice of which one they want to buy. Do you know what I mean? You want to play PlayStation 3 games? That's fine, because we've got no interest of remastering any PlayStation 3 games at this point. So there you go, backwards compatibility. On we'll stick an emulator on. It does nothing to them, but it hinders them. Do you know what I mean? If they don't consider it, at least. But anyway, that's welcome to my Games Will Be Games TED Talk.
Games will be games, baby. We've already got started. And now I'm going to give my score. Because that's what we do. We go off on mega tangents.
Oh, God, yeah, we do.
What do you think I'm going to give it?
Like, you said you enjoyed playing it.
I did enjoy playing it a lot.
So if it's anything less than an 8, I will be absolutely fucking broken.
I have given it.
Yep. It's like bloody what's it? To be a millionaire.
Need some mega tense music now.
Dun, dun.
Dim the lights. Dum, dum, dum.
Finish him.
850,000. So that gives it a nice crisp 900,000. So 9 out of 10. Which I think is a very fair
my
score.
I can't take this.
It puts it 5th in the super leaderboard. 5th place.
Wow.
It is usurped
Resident Evil,
Pokemon, and Super Metroid, and Streets of Rage 2. That's painful for me.
Yeah. But in all honesty, out of those games, I would probably play Banjo.
Oh, Streets of Rage 2. Not even
Well, yeah,
close.
you would, but I would, I would, play Banjo.
I would personally. I would still. Well, I've got more of an affinity with Streets of Rage and Pokemon.
Yeah.
I think Banjo is a better video game than Pokemon, but Pokemon's
Yes.
more of a journey.
It's the
isn't
RPG.
it?
Yeah, it's an
the
RPG. It's a
thing of
slow
it.
journey. Yeah.
I actually prefer Super Metroid, but I just think that's just more catered to my taste. Super Metroid. But I'm not arguing with Banjo-Kazooie being 5th, because considering I played it for the first time properly a few weeks ago, it is a worthy sort of next Mario 64 game. That 3D platformer.
Yes. Yeah.
It was like I got Mario 64, which is one of my favorite games. It's easily my favorite Mario game. This is sort of the next one, and I think they did a good job of it being not a Mario clone. It was the next one.
Yeah.
It was an evolution of 64, and it worked.
And it's like I said, they saw it and they were like, we can do one better, and they did it and they delivered. They did.
Big time, to be fair, big time.
Yeah, and like I say, my only one gripe or fault, it's not really a fault, it's a gripe, is that the flying is just a wee bit janky.
Yeah.
But
But 1998 controls, man.
Exactly, yeah, N64 controls, I know.
We'll end it on this. It could have been Superman 64. Can we do that next?
No, because I would rather push my fingers into my own eyes and play that. So
Fair enough.
but we will leave it with one last note, is that this is the best 3D platform game ever. You cannot tell me who. You tell me who. What's the best 3D platform game ever?
You know what the best 3D platform game ever is? And this
Legacy
is
of Kain.
This is coming from a Sonic
Legacy of
guy.
Kain?
No.
Sonic?
No, not Sonic. Super Mario 64.
No.
Yeah.
You have literally just said that Banjo-Kazooie has done everything better than
It
Super Mario
has,
64.
but I've got such like nostalgic love for Super Mario 64, and this is coming from a Sonic
So do
guy.
I.
This is coming from a Sonic guy.
Why?
I actually prefer Soul Reaver as well. Soul Reaver is a better game, but
I literally thought Legacy. That's why I said Legacy.
Yeah, but it's like
but that's a
it's a
janky
different. It's a different sort of game. It's not. It's not a collectathon sort of. It's just It's a 3D platforming story, and it's very dark, and I prefer that game. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're not gonna be teasing anymore. I don't really see the point in us teasing what we're doing next week.
No,
I think
I can't even say next week. Whenever the next time.
whenever the next time is, we aim for weekly, but it could be
kids and
it could be games will be games. If something's gone on worth talking, we could have talked about Mortal Kombat 1 this week. Could have talked about
we could have done
this fella doing PlayStation, the Cyberpunk updates, which has actually fixed the game, and it's friggin' phenomenal now.
And I mean,
love
Starfield,
anyway.
and it's Starfield general talk in itself.
Oh, I really need to talk about Starfield. You know, it's Cyberpunk is so much better, mate. It's such a better game. It's how they've messed up Starfield. Starlight, whatever it's called, Starfield.
Oh, mate, I'm loving Starfield.
It's good, but mate, if you played Cyberpunk, it's shit.
No, I know. I have. I've obviously not.
There's
played
a great
new.
video. I don't want to go off on massive tangents again. There's a
Well,
great
that's fine,
video
Joe.
that someone's put up that I follow, and like he's a massive Starfield fan because he played it. He kept updating. I've played it for such and such amount of hours, and I love that I'm finding this and and then he played Cyberpunk after that got updated. And then he like put a video up, and it's hilarious because it's just Bethesda. But like he was like, "Here's a video comparison of you transitioning from a building from
I'd seen that
Cyberpunk
from inside the building. Yeah,
and it's like
yeah.
this big club or whatever, and then you just walk
Yeah,
out,
you walk
and then you
out,
got
and
the
that's
streets
it.
are flooded with people and the buildings and everything, and it's like fluid.
I know.
Bethesda loading screen.
No, I know. There are. The thing is, though, I mean, we've always said this about Bethesda, though. You know what to expect from a Bethesda game.
I love my Fallouts. I love Skyrim's really good.
Skyrim,
I love Bethesda, but they are still living in the year 2008.
Yeah.
With loading screens for every transition.
But let's just take one consideration. How long did it take for Cyberpunk to get to where this point is?
It was still a good game before.
I
That's
know.
the thing.
Yeah, I know.
I would still
but
have said Cyberpunk Vanilla
vanilla.
is
Ooh.
better than Starfield.
Even with all the bugs and the janks.
Even with all the bugs, because some of the bugs are funny, yeah. Some of them are funny. When you're T-posing on your motorbike naked, that is funny. That does not drop the score for me. Ain't no naked T-posing people in Starfield, man. Come on.
I'm sure you could make it. I'm sure there's modders out there.
Yeah. But this is why we need to talk about games. Games
yeah,
will be
I
games.
know.
But
It's not a perfect thing, but Starfield's not a perfect game, but it is thoroughly enjoyable. I'm 30 hours in and I have still not left Mars.
See, my thing. I kept going from planet to planet because I can't stick to one place.
Were you following like the main story, or?
I followed it to a point because it's worth doing for the first few missions if you've followed it at all.
Yeah, no, I've got to the bit with the xenomorph thing, and we killed it, and we took samples of it, and I've done all that bit on Mars.
Yeah,
but I've not left Mars to go to the next bit. I've literally stuck on Mars and just exploring Mars.
Yeah, we really need to end this, but like, I kind of
okay, we'll quit it. We'll quit it now.
Yeah, I just want to say this while it's in my head. It does one of my gripes of RPGs, open world things. It can give you too many things to do. Like my whatever it's called, journal or whatever. It was just filled with things, and it was like I don't know which to do. I'm just gonna go and pick a random planet, and I'm gonna go explore. But like, I still need that goal. I need something to aim for each time.
Yeah.
But we can discuss this at some point. I think it'll be worth.
That's fine.
But then we could be doing lists next week. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah.
But we'll be discussing amongst each other. So
yeah, that's fair. Right.
BANJO-KAZOOIE, awesome. 5th place.
I am so happy.
I'm glad you're happy. I can't believe it's above Streets Race 2, man.
If it was like if you gave it a dud score, that was the end of our friendship.
Yeah, I know. I'd be doing Retro Gak Attack solo from now on. I like Sonic. Sonic is a very good game.
Sonic and Knuckles is tripe.
Whoa! Best game ever. One of.
On that note.
Yeah. Hey, new Sonic coming out soon. We'll talk about that. Get following, get subscribing.
No problem. See you later, everyone.
Love you. Bye.
Goodbye.